Alright guys, so I want to go ahead and take a look at our 2024 opponents' depth charts after free agency wave 1. This way we can kind of get a better assessment of what these teams look like and whether or not we can win some of these games. So, obviously we're going to start with the AFC North. We play them twice each opponent, right? We play the Ravens twice, the Steelers twice, and of course the Browns twice. So with that being said, let's take a look at the Brownies roster. Now obviously the Browns roster really all banks on the fact that Deshaun Watson staying healthy. I think Jameis Winston, if he does come in, he is a capable quarterback, and I think he is better than Russell Wilson. So I think he's actually pretty damn good. Yeah, no, I'm going to keep on doing it. I still think Justin Fields is better than Russell Wilson. Anyway, though, Jameis Winston, though, is a capable quarterback. Tyler Huntley, other than beating us in a wildcard game, I'm not really too concerned about him. If anything, it's funny here that I think Joe Flacco would be a better option than all three of these quarterbacks. But according to, I think it was Kevin Stefanski, he said that having Joe Flacco would be it would cause us problems. Because it would always be Deshaun Watson's looking over his shoulder. Deshaun throws a bad pass. Fans want Joe Flacco in there. So there's you can't do it, man. You can't have Joe Flacco in there. So it is what it is. For their side, obviously, I'm okay with that because I rather than not have Joe Flacco. Because I think Joe Flacco is very capable. Running back wise, they're going to get back Nick Chubb, Nakeem Hines. They also picked him up. They also picked up Dante Foreman, which I think are really freaking solid running backs. Honestly, Jerome Ford I think is good, but I think these two guys are going to be really good for them. So that's something to watch out for. Jerry Jeudy, Elijah Moore, Amari Cooper, Cedric Tillman in his second sophomore year. They have a good offensive line. So, yeah, no, their offense is going to be very, very dangerous. Our secondary is going to have to shut them down, and having the combination of Nick Chubb plus a really great receiving core is not going to be easy. Now, for their defense, they picked up Devin Bush from the Seattle Seahawks, obviously originated from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I believe he was their third-round draft pick? No, he was their first-round draft pick. That's right. He was the 16th pick in the NFL draft, I believe. Let me just double-check that. I believe he was a 16th pick. And thank you, advertisements, for just absolutely destroying this. Start with Pittsburgh. Doesn't tell me exactly when he was drafted, but I believe he was like the 16th overall pick. So yeah, he got drafted by Pittsburgh. Did not work out. Bust for Pittsburgh. I think he's still the thing about Devin Bush, right? Is he has a lot of mobile upside. He has a lot of athleticism, and I think that could help out Cleveland a lot. Jordan Hicks, that's a decent linebacker. Well, actually, a really good linebacker from Minnesota. He just played for Minnesota. Quentin Jefferson, backup left D tackle. Their secondary, they did lose some guys this offseason, but they were actually very well on bringing some guys back. The only guy they really lost was like a 34-year-old guy. Wait, did they bring him back? Never mind, they brought him back. Rodney McLeod. Yeah, they brought him back. So, wow. Okay, so Cleveland they had a pretty good offseason. I'll be honest, I think we'll probably end up splitting with Cleveland 1-1. Because their roster is pretty damn good. They already had a good roster last year, and I feel like they got even better this year. So, shout out to them, because I really thought they were going to have a bad offseason, and they were going to lose a lot of pieces. But that's not the case. All right, Baltimore. Now, Baltimore is in the opposite point of view. I feel like they only got worse this offseason. They lost their defensive coordinator, and their biggest losses here are going to be they lost their right guard, which obviously is Kevin Zeitler. Ben Cleveland now will be the starting right guard. He is not that good. And I know he was third-round draft pick in 2021, and Ravens fans don't even start with me. He's not that good. The guy that is actually, I think, is good is their backup left guard. Now, Andrew Voorhees, they drafted him in the 7th round last year. He actually when they drafted him, he actually got hurt at the combine. So he was out all last year, right? And he got hurt at the combine, and now he is back. if he didn't get hurt at the combine, he probably would have been a third, fourth round pick. He was that good. He actually broke some records at the combine. So I think that's a really good option for them. But I will say it's a rookie. And you know already from Cordell Volson, not every single rookie will hit. You also got this guy, I can never say his name correctly, but he is a giant. He's an absolute mammoth of a man. I think he will probably end up becoming their starting left guard, and they might move Voorhees to right guard, because I don't think Ben Cleveland's going to be the guy. Macari, the age-old wonder Macari for them. They got rid of Morgan Moses. If you guys do not know who Macari is, he played center for them. He's played left guard. He's played right tackle. He's played pretty much every position you can think of. So, yeah, they're going to need a right tackle in the upcoming draft because he's not going to be a capable option here. So, the left guard, right guard, and right tackle is kind of suspect. On the receiving core, they did lose Odell Beckham. That's not really saying much. Probably will add a receiver in this upcoming draft, which will help them out a lot. They re-signed Nelly to a new contract. Okay. Rashad Bateman, he's on the last year of his rookie contract. The guy's a bust, period. Coming off a 500-yard season. Not even 500, I think it was like 300-yard season. He's a bust. Zay Flowers, we already know how good he is. Tylan Wallace, underrated. Sean Ryan, no idea who he is. For their offensive line outside of the positions I listed, they still have Tyler Lindenbaum, who's really good. Ronnie Stanley, who's a joke. And yeah, so that's that. Tight end wise, they still have a really great tight end core. Obviously, they had Lamar Jackson. They did pick up Derrick Henry. They did lose Gus Bus, and they also lost. Was it just Gus Bus? They just lost Gus Bus. But Keaton Mitchell comes back from injury. He should be really good. He was an undrafted guy last year who really took off and blossomed. If you guys watched my NFL draft video last year, like when I actually live streamed the whole entire draft, he was on my draft board, and I kept talking about him over and over and over again, saying we should take him in the 5th round. I wanted to take him over taking Chase Brown. Obviously, in the end, we got Chase Brown. I'm excited for Chase Brown, but I wanted Keaton Mitchell instead, and Keaton Mitchell is now doing great for them. Their defense, that's the big thing here that's changed. Their defense is decimated to a certain degree. Their secondary, they still got Brandon Stevens, who's really good. Darius Washington, decent. The old Miami Dolphin, Demarion Williams. Arthur Mullet. But other than that, they did lose Rock Yun-Sin. They also lost Ronald Darby, who are 2 starters for them. Marlon Humphreys, always the age-old injury wonder. And they also have Armour Davis as well. Other than that, their team is... They lost Patrick Queen, but it's not really that big of a deal because they're just going to use a 3rd-round draft pick as a starter there. Yeah, so the Ravens' mainly biggest issue is offensive line and the fact that they lost their defensive coordinator and they lost some items in their secondary. And Pittsburgh. He sucks. Anyway, so they got Justin Fields at quarterback. Najee Harris, not really. We'll see how he does this year. But they did pick up Cordell Patterson. The reason why they picked up Cordell Patterson is because of the fact of the kickoff rule changing. So that's going to help them out a little bit in that department. But he is, how old is he? 30? 33 years old. So see how that works out. They picked up Van Jefferson. I don't really think that's that great. He is the old LA Ram guy. Quez Watkins from Philadelphia. Again, not really too upset about that one. The receiving core is kind of not really too crazy good. And again, you know, it's really going to come down to can they run the ball. Their offensive line, they're going to work on it in this upcoming draft, but Broderick Jones in his sophomore year should be good. They drafted him to play left tackle. He's now right tackle. Yeah, it's going to be just working on the offensive line. Their defense, for the most part, a very young secondary, kind of like us. They did go ahead and get rid of Patrick Peterson. That's definitely not that much of a loss. They got Patrick Queen. That's going to be helpful for them. But again, like I said, nothing really that different. All right, so outside the AFC North, let's talk about other opponents. So, first opponent we play in 2024 is the Denver Broncos. Denver, again, they lost Jerry Jeudy, which you can say what you want about that. They also lost Russell Wilson. So, you know, what we thought when we first saw the schedule was we're going to play Russell Wilson. That's not the case. They have no quarterback. So as long as they don't draft another quarterback in this upcoming draft, which is possible they don't, we're going to be playing either Jarrett Stidham, or, as Brandon Perna says, Ben DiNucci. So we're not going to be playing really a quarterback. They got Samaje Perine, obviously. They still got Javonte Williams, and they still got Courtland Sutton. They got Josh Reynolds from Detroit. They got Marvin Mims. We'll see how he blossoms in his second year. But their offense does not scare me in any way when we play them. Again, barring the fact that they go ahead and get a quarterback, then that could change things. For their defense, that was their biggest problem last year. They did pick up Brandon Jones. They lost Justin Simmons, Cody Barton, and Malcolm Roach, the guy we actually tried to get there. But other than that, their defense is pretty much the same. Again, keep in mind the draft will change things, but I'm not scared of the Broncos at all. I'm actually less scared of them than they were before. The Raiders. Raiders went ahead and picked up Gardner Minshew. Probably will be the starting quarterback for them. They also picked up Alexander Madison this offseason. Other than that, their team is exactly the same as it was before. And again, I'm not scared of the Raiders offense. It wasn't scared of them before. Not scared of them now. Gardner Minshew definitely adds a monkey wrench into that. It makes them a little bit more intimidating, but not too much. And their defense is exactly the same, except they really paid a lot of money for Christian Wilkins. Now, I will say for the Raiders, I think they're a sneaky team that could be really good this year. So that might be a little bit scary, but other than that, I'm not too scared of them at all. The LA Chargers. Keep in mind, we play the whole entire AFC West. They don't have a receiver. They don't. And it's very possible that they'd end up drafting a receiver because they lost Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, also lost Austin Eckler this offseason. So I'm really not scared for our secondary going against them. They still got Justin Herbert, who's still a great quarterback. They picked up Gus Bus to replace Austin Eckler, and I love that one. They also picked up Ben Mason from the Ravens. 2 Ravens. I know it says from San Francisco, but Ben Mason started as a tight end fullback for the Ravens. So they picked up 2 old Ravens to their roster. They also picked up Hayden Hurst. If he can stay healthy, we'll be interested there. Will Disley, I'm not really too insane about that pickup. They lost Gerard Everett. They lost one of their tight ends, so that's not really that big of a deal. And their defense, yeah, it's still good. It's still a good defense. I think we'll be perfectly fine against the Chargers. And then the Chiefs. So we're going to see what happens with Rashee Rice. Most likely he'll be suspended for the year, my guess is. They picked up Hollywood Brown, which I'm not really scared of at all. Only thing they did with Baltimore was drop passes. They still kept Kadarius Toney. The credit to them, they still got Kadarius Toney, but they got rid of MVS. So MVS, and they got rid of who else? No, just MVS. Yeah, McCole Hardman. They got rid of him. That's what I meant to say too. Anyway, their running back core is exactly the same. They also picked up Carson Wentz. They picked up Irv Smith. Love you, Irv. Have a great season with them, buddy. You do you, Irv. I want you to be Irv Smith with them. Their defense is pretty much the same, so there's not really much changeover or difference there. We also play the Philadelphia Eagles. This is going to be a tough matchup, and they got better this offseason. So they picked up Devontae Parker. That's not saying anything. They picked up Paris Campbell. It's funny, too, because Paris Campbell, I think, is way better than Devontae Parker, the pickup-wise. They picked up a backup left guard. Okay. Picked up Kenny Pickett as a backup. Small hand Pickett. They also picked up Will Grier. Yeah, old guy. Saquon Barkley is their biggest addition to the offense, in all honesty. He is the scariest addition, and if he can stay healthy, depending on when we play him, this could be very dangerous. Defensively, they picked up Devin White, Bryce Huff, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Tyler Hall as well. Yeah, with the Eagles, it really comes down to, are they legit this year, or are they like last year where they were frauds? Kind of how I look at it. Commanders. Now, Commanders have a second overall pick in the NFL draft, so keep that in mind, that they're going to They're going to look a lot better after this upcoming draft. Currently, their quarterback is Marcus Mariota and Jeff Driscoll. But again, like I said, they're going to get a new quarterback probably in the NFL draft. They also picked up Austin Eckler. They picked up a lot of older guys that we'll see if they end up, hitting and working out for them. But also defensively, they picked up Dorrance Armstrong. They picked up Farrell, Bobby Wagner, Luvu. They also picked up Michael Davis. So, interesting. Sorry for the quick cut, guys. But yes, so overall, the Commanders, not really too scared of them. Again, like I said, the draft will change some more things, but we'll see how that works out. We play the Patriots. They no longer have Mac and Cheese. Now they have Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. But again, they have the 3rd overall pick. They're probably going to be taking the quarterback. They got KJ Osborne this offseason. They also got some backup players here. Antonio Gibson, I'm not really too scared about either. I think Stevenson should be fine as a starter. Yeah, defensively, they still have a lot of money. Keep that in mind, right? Second wave free agency, more options, but not too scared about that. The next team we go against is the team that went all in this offseason. As you can see from all the new additions, keep in mind anything that's green is a brand new player to their team. So this is the Dallas Cowboys. They had the craziest offseason of all time. As Jerry Jones said many times, they're going to go all in, and he was not lying. So, as we can see, the player that they picked up was Eric Kendricks, and that's it. Yeah. I mean, listen, the Cowboys are going to go 12-5 no matter what. They're still a great team. I'm not going to trash them too much, but yeah. Anyway, though, the next team we play against is the New York Giants, and that's going to be... They picked up a new left guard, a new right guard from the Eagles. Well, actually, from the Packers, but he also played for the Eagles before. They picked up the Raiders right tackle that I wanted. They picked up Devin Singletary from Houston, paid him a lot of money. Picked up Drew Lock. They also do have the 5th overall pick, so things could happen. They picked up Isaiah McKenzie, the old receiver for the Bills/Colts. Defensively, they also picked up Jalen Mills from the old Eagles safety/Patriots safety. Giants do not scare me at all. And then the last two teams we have, one is going to be the Panthers, which they definitely went all in this offseason, kind of like last offseason. They got Deontay Johnson, who I'm not scared of because the guy is like a walking head case. Damian Lewis, Robert Hunt, way overpaid for Robert Hunt. Got David Moore from Tampa Bay. They also went ahead on defense, got Deshaun Robinson, Javion Clowney, Josie Jewell. They got Jordan Fuller, Dane Jackson, and Nick Scott. Sorry, they got Nick Scott. Apparently, they just like taking old leftovers, which I find funny. But, yeah, no, I'm not scared of the Panthers. I'm not scared of the Panthers at all. Now, the last team is the Tennessee Titans. Obviously, Brian's new team. And they got Calvin Ridley, which they way overpaid for. They got a new center, which I think was smart. They got Mason Rudolph. Good. Tony Pollard, a little bit older on the older side, but still a good running back. They definitely got a interesting corner in Cheeto. I don't really agree that he's going to be that good. L'Jarius Sneed, though, I think he's a really good option. Kenneth Murray, great option. And Joseph Day, also really great option. And again, when I say the Cheeto, it really comes down to the fact if he can stay healthy, and also how does he look on another year after his back surgery, because that definitely was a problem for him. Once he got his back surgery, he was never the same. Guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions, though. I'll see you guys next one.